Right, let's have a new stats page. Okay. And you know the kind of thing, you're doing something in class and the student says, have I drawn the right diagram for this, and is it right? And you've got a frequency table in front of you there. You can put grouped data into Autograph. So we're going to go on that one there, which is the one at the side of the raw data. We're going to go for enter grouped data. Right, so we're going to try and put in this particular frequency table, and you can see on the diagrams in front of you there how we're going to enter the limits in order to get that particular frequency table into Autograph. Okay? So first of all, we'll call it heights again. We'll give it a different name. Okay, so we'll give it something a little more meaningful. We'll call it heights. And then we've got to start adding our data. So we're going to enter manually our data. So we're going to check on that. And it's got all these things in here that we don't want. We don't want any of those apart from the 0. So I'm going to get rid of all of those and start with my own data. So you can see from that frequency table there, it starts with 0. That's the first left limit. And then my next left limit is 11. And then the next one's 21. Then 26, then 31, then 51. Okay, so we have to put all of those in separated by a comma. So 0, 11, 21, 26, 51, and then the final one is to tell it where to finish. So you put 60 in. Right at the end. Okay, so that's put in my limits to tell it where the groups are, and then I need to put the frequencies in down here. Okay, and they should match, or at least that you should have enough frequencies to match up. So we've got 3, 4, 10, 13, 17, 3. So again, separated by a comma. Comma 7, 3. Okay, and usually when I press OK it says you've forgotten the limit or something like that. But okay, so we've called it heights, we've put our group limits in, we've put our frequencies in, continuous data, it's on heights, press OK. And again it looks like nothing's happened. But what has happened this time is you've got a spot circle, it's a filled in target that's now called heights. And again, things have now lit up so you can draw diagrams with them. So now you've got, I can draw a histogram, or I can draw a cumulative frequency diagram, or I can draw a box and whisker diagram. You can't draw a dot plot or any of these because they're for raw data, they're for single data. Okay. So we'll draw a histogram, why not? Let's draw a histogram here. We can plot frequency density if you were talking to advanced level students, or you can just plot normal frequency if you had equal class widths. These aren't equal class widths, so I'm going to go for frequency density. I want it coloured in. Right? I want to draw the histogram, and I'd like it being plotted up, please, because plotting it down seems wrong for a histogram to me. Well, there we go. Sorry? Goes down. Literally plots the thing downwards instead of upwards. Okay? Okay, there you go. That's histogram. Now, mathematically, what is wrong with that histogram?
It's not labelled correctly on the bottom.
Absolutely, it isn't labelled correctly, is it? If you have a frequency table like that, and it goes 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 20 to 21, your bars should be at 10.5 and 20.5 and so on. And these aren't. That's at 11. Because you told Autograph it had to be at 11, when we were putting data in, we told it started at 11. So if you're doing with advanced students and you know you have to be on the half markers, put your limits in actually as the lower class boundary. Put them in as 10.5 and 20.5 and 25.5. Actually put those in and it will do it properly for you. Otherwise you'll get a histogram drawn where they're not labelled correctly at the bottom. But it's only doing what you've told it to do. So you have to tweak it a little bit. But anyway, you get a nice histogram there. And we can put a nice little cumulative frequency diagram on there if you wanted to, which is now way off the page, so we'll default it. I'll show you what I did there. Let me go back. I selected the data again. I said do a cumulative frequency diagram. I pressed OK, and it went way off the page. Now remember the get out of jail free card. Okay, you can press auto scale and it'll sort it out for you. So you don't have to think about the scale. Right, and we can stick a box and whisker diagram on there as well, which is quite nice. And it's also quite nice that you can move this thing up and down. So if you wanted to look at your median, which is at 20, if you just move your box and whisker diagram there to 20, you can see that your median here is lining up with 20, which is quite nice. And the upper quartile there lines up as well. Something nice to show.